This is Indian's FTR750 flat tracker. It's a factory race bike designed for one purpose: to slide around a dirt oval faster than anything else ever made. There's no license plate or headlight. It doesn't have a starter. There isn't even a front brake. But if you're a professional flat track racer with $50,000, it has absolutely everything you need.
The FTR750 is pure, fairground Americana. Apple pie dipped in gunpowder. It's flat track perfection and the ultimate example of man and machine working together as one. That's the idea, anyway. If you have the years of experience and depth of skill to walk that fine line between sliding and crashing. Sadly, here at On Two Wheels, all we have is Ari Henning.
Okay folks, this is literally my first time on a flat track bike. But I was like watching that pro do it, made it look super smooth, made it look super easy, so let's give this thing a go. Oh my gosh.
For as simple as riding around in a circle looks, it's actually really hard. And jumping on a full-blown factory race bike probably wasn't helping.
Trying to get it slide into the corners, but I suck. I need to work on this rear brake thing.
The FTR is a specialized piece of equipment, and it's meant to be wrangled by the best in the business. For me, the crazy wide bars, the foot pegs in different places, it all felt foreign and equal parts fun and frightening.
So yeah, this is not the right place to start if you're trying to learn how to slide a motorcycle around because you've got aspirations to race in flat track. This is the cream of the crop motorcycle that is made for the absolute top level pro riders. I'm doing it no justice whatsoever. Even if it's only 750 cc's, it's making 85 horsepower, and it is just way too fast for me.
And that's why, for the average Joe, Indian makes the standard Scout. You got a 69 cubic inch liquid cooled V-twin, it weighs about 550 pounds, and it will cost you around $11,500. It has a great front brake, actually. It also has a dash, it also has an electric starter. It has mirrors, a comfortable seat, and good suspension. As far as cruisers go, actually, it's one of our favorite. All things considered, it's a practical, usable, reasonably affordable, easy to ride, nice motorcycle.
What it does not do is look like a factory flat track race bike.
Exactly, and that's kind of a shame, don't you think? Because they both say Indian on the side, they both say Scout on the side. They're made by the same company.
Yeah, I mean, they both got the cursive eye on the cylinders, man.
That's what I'm saying.
So what we need is a little bit of the practicality and the approachability of the Scout with a good old, big, healthy dose of the sportiness of the FTR here.
Exactamundo. Luckily for us and for you, the viewer, such a bike exists.
No.
Are you getting anything?
Not the visual effects budget. We blew it on the track rental, dude. You gotta do it yourself.
Oh my God, unbelievable these
Low
days.
budget operation.
This is Indian's FTR1200 prototype. It has a headlight, a starter, a kickstand, and a front brake.
And it's the badass street tracker that everyone has been waiting for someone to build.
And Indian did it, finally. We should reiterate that this is a prototype. It's not a production bike.
Yeah.
They just built it to make everyone's mouths water, but it's working.
Is that why you put your leathers
Yeah,
on?
put my leathers on. I'm gonna show you how it's done. You were riding like a
Oh, wow.
I had to channel, I had
So
to like method
aggressive,
act there.
yeah.
In reality, my flat track skills are about as polished as my acting, which is to say,
I am also supremely underqualified for this. And I'm probably not making Ari look as stupid as I wanted to. But I've ridden an FTR750 and I've ridden a Scout. And this thing is simultaneously the coolest Scout and the most practical FTR that I've ever ridden.
It's a pretty simple recipe, actually. Indian took the engine out of the Scout and slapped it into a lighter, leaner chassis that oozes FTR dirt track style. It reminds me of a Ducati Scrambler. You know, if it drank Coors Light instead of cappuccinos. But there are some very clear reminders that it's still in the prototype phase.
You got your seat, which is basically non-existent. It's thinner than the seat on the FTR750 race bike, believe it or not. Then you got your exhaust pipe. You leave your leg in the wrong place for too long, it starts to blister your skin. It's not super fun, I have to say. Those are all things that they fix on the street bike, which is lucky, because you wouldn't really want that in a street bike. And it drives the final nail home that this is a prototype. But I have to say, even it just being a prototype, it's so much more like a standard bike. It's much more upright. It's much more conventional and just performance oriented.
So, if the FTR1200 does hit the street, we would expect it to be much quieter and less carbon fibrous. In other words, it will probably be a little bit less cool, but a lot more practical. And that isn't always such a bad thing.
But the point is, it's really cool that we got all three of these bikes in one place and on one track.
Heck yeah, it is. And what we learned is that Indian took a bunch of DNA from the Scout, which is a great, highly functional street cruiser, and they took a whole lot of DNA from the FTR750, which is a championship winning race bike, and they made this bitchin' piece of equipment. I mean, I love it, I think it's gorgeous, and I think it's gonna resonate with a lot of people.
Absolutely, I agree. And we think the reason that it's gonna resonate with people is that if you're a MotoGP fan, for example, then you want
an R1, because that looks like Rossi's bike.
Exactly, and if you're into off-road or Dakar, what you want
like
is
Africa Twin or a GS.
Exactly. You want to look like you could take off for Patagonia at any moment. The FTR1200 is the flat track version of that.
It does the thing.
You can ride to the DMV, you can ride to your buddy's barbecue, but you'll look like one of your heroes that just came from a flat track championship event, and that is wicked cool.
Yeah, and speaking of flat track, one more thing to take away from this, if you have even the slightest inclination of going around a dirt oval, you need to do it, because holy crap, is it fun.
It's seriously fun.
Yep.
And with that sound piece of advice, I think this episode is over. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. This is gonna be excruciatingly slow, because that was just like warming up. Like I'm just like trying to get loose, you know? Ready?
Yep. Thanks for the push.
Yeah. I'm basically a factory mechanic at this point. I think they might have made the seat out of that dog.
And line.
It's really great. You know what my least favorite part about video shoots is? How much time we spend not riding motorcycles.
Yeah.